Welcome everyone to the Water Tower Podcast, WTP, if you've seen our social media logo change. Thanks to Mr. Yoda here, our graphic designer in this wonderful crew. You are watching WTP episode number 10. We are so excited to be at double digits. Episode number 10 is a big accomplishment for Jay and I. So thank you to everyone that's been watching so far, and please do subscribe. Hit that button, that tab, wherever it's going to be. And keep watching. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We appreciate it all. So Water Tower Podcast, we're on all those platforms. Episode number 10. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we are.
So, we did some pretty deep stuff, Jay. A couple weeks ago, we talked about George Floyd and the murder of George Floyd and what stemmed from that as far as protest and riots and whether it's good or bad and, all this jazz.
I thought we just talked about dick and fart jokes.
Yeah, well, that too.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Jay just farted, by the way.
That's all I remember. I did just fart. That's a true story. Sorry, Nick. It's going to stink in here.
So, and then last week we had mixed martial artist Juan Nunez.
Hey, shout out to Juan Nunez.
Shout out to Juan. What an amazing podcast that was.
One of our best so far, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And it's proven on the analytics. It's gaining some good traction. So here we are back to kind of what's going on in the real world. I think that was a good step away from all the stuff that's been going on. And Jay and I have been to the protest downtown here in Sacramento, shooting some footage and getting some material that we can put out to the world. So, it was nice to step away from that. But now we're back, and Dave Chappelle just put out a short video. Supposedly, he said it's the first comedic event.
We said first concert.
First concert, right.
But there's been other stuff. But I think this kind of venue out, I don't know if it's the first, but he said it was, and it's the first time he's been on stage in I think it was like 3 months or something like that.
Right.
Like 80 days or something.
Interesting situation though, the way they had it set up, and outdoors, the chairs were all,
I'm assuming it's Ohio where he lives.
Yeah, it was, right.
Yeah.
Yep, because he talks about some events and tragedies that happened there in Ohio.
Yeah, and he's a big fan of that little area he lives in. It's in the middle of nowhere, away from all the people, all the fans.
Yeah, right. I would just say, before we get into the content, he's put on some weight.
I noticed he had a little belly because he bulked up last few years. He was like a fucking roided out, it looks like. I don't know. But he was a skinny dude and his arms all big, but he's also getting older. But I saw a little gut. Yeah,
I seen that too. Little chubby cheeks, but
I don't have that, so I can't, respect it.
So so the people that maybe haven't seen the video, check it out first of all. And
if you're not watching it, what the fuck's wrong with you? It's Dave motherfucking Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. How important is Dave Chappelle to you, Jay?
Dave Chappelle, I told you earlier, Dave Chappelle could say, Jay, jump off a cliff, you're a dumb white guy. Like, all right, you need a hand job before I jump? Because Dave Chappelle is probably a few notches above Joe Rogan in my book and he talked about it, I've been waiting for Dave Chappelle to say something. And he addressed that. I was like, man, I want to hear, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, mainly Dave Chappelle, because he has such profound views. He lives in a predominantly white area. He talked about when Trump got elected, standing in line and hearing some of the conversations. And he just has a good, I think, key balance between both sides of the situation. And I woke up this morning, was a little late to work, about 10, 15 minutes, because I was like, I got to watch this, turn my alarms off, and just had to watch it, because I've been waiting. And he said, people want to hear a comedian talk, and he didn't know why, but he's like, because you trust me, and all the outlets and systems we have lie to you. That's why it means a lot to me to hear from Dave Chappelle.
Absolutely, and he says it right in that speech is, I tell the truth. I don't care if it hurts you, I'm going to tell the truth. And I think that's where he gets a lot of his respect from.
That's comedy. George Carlin, Joe Rogan, a lot of these guys, honest, ugly truth. Mm-hmm. The truth is ugly a lot of the times. And comedians get away with it because, I'm making a joke. But, go back to the history. Bill Hicks, talking about psychedelics in the 80s, early 90s. Man, comedians have always kept it real. Go back to, I'm forgetting his name, but some of the original comedians, Don Rickles, I'm blanking on the original comedian who was hardcore, but man, comics have always been fucking getting arrested, kicked out of clubs, doing what they have to do.
Well, I think that's primarily why people love them so much, because they're so real, and because you can go through a situation like what we're going through now, and there's trauma involved, and some people just have deeper feelings than others. But when you get together in a comedy setting, It's like you can just unleash, even if it's about something pressing or hot button issue. You know, they make it funny and they make you laugh, and it brings you out of that zone, that funk that you've been in, right?
Well, and they give their own personal spin on it, which we're all different, right? And they give their own spin on it. Dave Chappelle definitely did that. Talking about the celebrity, you know, basically, if you haven't watched it, we're going to spoil it. Just spoiler alert. But he talked about, you know, people are saying, where are the celebrities? Don Lemon, where are the celebrities? And he says, say my name. I hope you do, motherfucker. And he's like, you want me to get out there and speak as a celebrity in front of all these people? All these people in the street, you want me to jump in front of them like, this is what I think, you know? Right. And I'm glad he said that, because I think the same way.
Too. No, I totally agree. And I think the way he pushed it was, they're handling their business. The people in the street, they're the ones struggling. What's a celebrity know about, you know, being in the situation right now? And this is their movement, and it has power. And us as celebrities, we should let them have their voice and be heard. Right? Did I get that out?
Yeah, and man, you know, I often think about like Snoop Dogg, for example. Love Snoop Dogg. What a personality, whether his track record or you think he ratted on Suge or whatever. Like, Snoop, I love you. You're the shit. And he's always just being himself. And
Deal Double G.
You won't come on our podcast, Snoop Dogg. You won't do it.
Let me see.
We're too little for you. You're too in your mansion. But, you know, like Snoop, you know, I think like he's been rich way longer than he's been poor.
Right.
Oh, that's crazy, right?
That is.
So how does that affect your opinions? He seems like he stays in the loop, but like, damn, that's kind of crazy when you think that someone has been poor till about 17, 18, whenever he hit it big, and then
been rich ever since.
Damn, he's how old? 50s or something?
Yeah, well, no lie. And I think that's where Dave Chappelle's coming from is this is not our movement. This is not a celebrity movement. Who the fuck cares what celebrities think? These are the people on the ground, the people that are being you know, serving injustices to, and these people, this is their movement. They're doing a damn good job of it, and I'm totally glad he said that too, man.
Well, and I don't know if he was insinuating this, but he talked about getting pulled over by that cop in Ohio, Beaver Creek or where the fuck kind of like that, generic oaky name it had. But he was like, you know, the cop let me go with a warning, pulled me over, and the day later he shot a kid, you know, and Dave Chappelle being rich and famous and well known. Maybe that's why he got a warning. I don't know if that's what he was insinuating, but I believe it was.
Yeah, maybe. And you know what? I mean, it makes me think, especially that you brought up Snoop Dogg. Do you remember, I don't even remember what year this was, but it was Snoop Dogg and The Game. There was a lot of norteño, sureño, or blood and Crip stuff going on, and they came together and called a truce.
And united them,
right. And
how'd that work out?
Yeah, right, exactly. And you know, it didn't do much, but it was interesting to watch that, and I think a lot of people fell for it. And I say fell for it because there's a lot of stunts going on right now, I think. I think it was the Senate, or, you know, I don't even know who it was, but I saw this picture of, like, people in this big office, and they had, like, these kind of striped veils on, and they're kneeling. Kind of to show solidarity, but I think a lot of it is, you know, just for play, you know, it's just for airtime. It's you know what I mean?
It's the same old bullshit.
Right.
And that's why we want to hear Dave Chappelle talk.
Well, exactly. And you know what?
He's got fuck you money.
So you know what? It starts with the intro, right? It says that shows the setup of the comedy show. And then, you know, Dave Chappelle comes on and he starts talking about the BLM movement and George Floyd. And I eventually thought he was going to get into a comedic kind of, what would you call that, JM?
His routine, his right. Jokes, working some of the jokes. He hasn't been up in 80 days or whatever it was, a few months. So for a comic, that's crazy. So they like to stay, you know, like training for gymnastics and not training for 3 months. You're going to be rusty, or jiu-jitsu or kickboxing, you know, anything. You got to use it or you lose it. So it's, I think for him, he had a book of jokes, but
couldn't even get to it.
You know, who knows what his goal was? I have a feeling Dave Chappelle is the type of guy that goes, let's get up there and see what happens. And from the stories you hear from Kevin Hart, Joe Rogan, stuff like that, he is that type of guy.
Oh, yeah, right. And you can tell, man, just by listening to what he's saying and watching him say it, he's speaking from the heart. And he's not speaking from some script that he wrote down or some script that his secretary wrote down. He's speaking from the heart. And everything that he's saying is stuff that he knows, you know, by reading and consuming material that, you know, what he believes in. So it's not something that, it's not a PR stunt. It's not him, you know, getting paid money to do something. It's him going and telling how he feels. And I gotta say, I wonder how the audience felt. You know, I wonder if they were going in thinking they're gonna see a comic, show or a comedy show, and they get this. And probably some were like, yeah, right on. But I wonder if some were like, come on, where's the jokes?
I would doubt it because if you follow Dave Chappelle, like he's profound. He gets into, especially like his interviews, just not even talk about his comedy, but his interviews, he talks about this stuff. I mean, his Netflix special, he did dive into like, transsexuals and talk using the word tranny but he made it very funny. It's so easy to make fun of you motherfuckers. I'm on your side, but they don't like me. Like he addresses the issue, and that's what comics are supposed to be, fearless.
Okay, yeah, I get that, and which is kind of why I wanted to see. And actually, we also invited Lance Woods. Lance Woods, if you're watching this, you need to be here because I do want to get a comics take on, not that what's going on in the world right now as far as the protests and the BLM movement and the injustices is something to laugh about, but can we take something like this and make people laugh with it? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because I know it's not something to be laughing about. It's not a funny matter. But where on the comic spectrum can you input comedy or something to smile or laugh about in this kind of grand scheme of what's going on in the world?
Well, to quote the famous Norm Macdonald, a legend in the comedy field, just like Dave Chappelle. If you don't know who he is, check him out. Dirty Work, I don't know if you remember him. He's been in a bunch of movies. A movie with Dave Chappelle too back in the day. But he always says like he was commenting on Bill Maher that has the kind of left show. I don't know if Bill Maher. He also did the documentary Religiousless. Bill Maher, shout out to him, he's great. But he has this kind of political show, and Norm Macdonald said he forgot the number one rule: keep it funny. Or comedians, keep it funny. That's why people are here to see you. And I think Dave Chappelle sprinkled some comedy in there, but
right.
Dave Chappelle's beyond that. Dave Chappelle, in my view, I know I'm more of a comedy fan than basketball, but he's beyond Michael Jordan. That's a statement. I probably should retract that. But it's he's beyond. So Dave Chappelle could get away without making people laugh. I think a lot of comedians have done that in the past. When they get older, I think Richard Pryor was like that. Some other people, I think George Carlin might have went down that road where it just becomes like a bitch thing. But nah, man, I was cool with it.
Dude, I was totally cool with it too. And from what I've seen, I actually didn't even know the video surfaced until you sent it to me. And then right when I watched it, I'm on my way over here to record this podcast, and I'm looking through my social media feed, and people are sharing this in their stories. A lot of people are watching it, and I think everybody's going to have that same feeling. And after I watched that, I think what I got out of it, and tell me what you got out of it, I got out of it was, why the fuck is it so hard to understand that what's going on is wrong? Why is it so hard to see that when police officers kill black men, especially young black men that, do not deserve to die, that's a systematic problem. And he talks about other things that lead into that and some statistics and things like that. But he keeps going back to like, why is it so hard for you to see that this is a problem, Well, and it's interesting because back when the Chappelle show was on and they had the KKK episode where it was the, I forget his name, right. Biggums or whatever, but that might have been the wrong character, but he was the black KKK member who was blind, so I didn't know he was black. Right.
So they always kept his mask on. Great episode. But
awesome.
He got a lot of shit during the making of the season of black people saying, you're racist, what the hell, you're promoting this, and it's funny to fast forward to this. It's like, bitch, chill the fuck out, everybody.
Right.
But it was important that he addressed this, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your original question.
Well, just what did you get out of it? I mean, what was your kind of takeaway?
You made a comment on one of the jokes or the systematic, how people don't get it. Like he's like, how cops sent 400 cops to kill that dude. By the way, I'm glad he brought that up because I forgot about that dude.
Yeah,
and
Chris Donner.
Shout out to Tyler Williams, who was in the band Instant Gratification, did a song about that guy, promoting him, called Cops Killing Cops.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, we were glued to the TV when that happened. It was, it's funny they don't mention it. And I think it's for a reason because you're like, oh, one man could do that?
Right.
Oh. But I love that I talked about the military aspect of it because fighting terror, even here on domestic land, as a military man, that's what you do. So, and I'm not a military man, but that's what I assume they do. But I'm glad he brought that up because he, during the Def Jam Awards, they had him on there with, I forget who it was, but they had something messed up, so they kind of had a bullshit and ad lib. And Dave Chappelle's great at that. He's crowd work, baby. But he just like started going off. But he said one line in there, like, it was all mainly black people in that crowd. But he was like, if you really told them, like speaking of white people, do you think they're going to believe us? And I remember that resonated with me. It's like, oh man, it's like almost like a waste of breath now.
Right.
And yeah, I'm glad he brought that up. But
yeah, me too. I was too, because I didn't forget about it, but it's not something I think about a lot. And I remember watching that, and I really didn't even know the whole story from the start. You know, I mean, it took me a while to figure out what the hell was going on and who this guy was and why he was doing it. But you know, Dave Chappelle just laid it out in like 2 minutes, basically the story, right? I mean, former military guy, became a police officer, tried to report some wrongdoings and abuse as a police officer, went to his higher ups, got denied, and then he eventually got fired or quit from the police department.
Yeah, he got let go.
Yeah, got let go. And then, you know, basically he was trained to fight terrorists, and that's what he thought the police department was at that time, because they were portraying themselves as terrorists. And so then he went on a killing spree, killing officers. And then, yeah, I mean, he says this, and this is what the most powerful part was for me, is he says, yeah, you know why 400 fucking police officers showed up to kill this motherfucker?
Exactly.
It's because that guy killed one of their own. And so how do you think we feel?
Exactly.
And that says it all right there, man.
That's why there's protests and stuff. And how could they not understand that? It's kind of, but
right.
Yeah, it's, you know, different sidebar. But you know what I really took out of that stand-up special is, which I've been saying for fucking years, and I feel comfortable as a white man saying it. White women, shut the fuck up. I love my white women, but you guys sell us out like all the time. Like fucking, I have been called racist by only white women. For I don't even know what reason, because I asked for the wrong pack of cigarettes. Who knows? But like in San Francisco, I had white women with dyed blue hair. For some reason, they always have blue hair because they're unique and special and different. But every bar in San Francisco has 1 or 2 girls with blue hair in it. And they would always say, you're racist, you're racist. I'm like having conversations with black people about race, trying to learn. And that's never come up. Maybe they bit their tongue or just assumed I was, but white women, dude.
Oh, man.
You got on both sides. You got the Karens.
The Karens, that's right.
You got the blue-haired bitches.
Well, like, what would you call those, I guess? Huh? We'll call them Mollies.
I was thinking about this the other day, like, yeah, creating a name like Bernice or something. I don't know, like some type of like left name.
But you're right. It's on both sides. You got the Karen, you got those.
They're always the loudest.
Yeah, interesting.
And I always found it funny that white women were like, you know, well, women have an oppression, obviously. But it's weird when women identify with minorities. To me, it feels weird because it's like Patrice O'Neal had a great bit on this. Shout out, speaking of comedy, Patrice O'Neal. The levels of who could get away with shit. And white males are at the bottom. They can't say shit, you know, and he would laugh about it. Legend, by the way, Patrice O'Neal. But rest in peace. But he talked about this, and it's like you got... yeah, Patrice O'Neal talked about it, and like I think it's important because I felt always weird that white women kind of fell under the white umbrella, obviously, although they had their own struggles, but they were brought up with the white men culture. Mm-hmm. They were lifted, although not to the standards they want, but past minorities, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Yet when shit hit the fan, fuck the white straight males. It's like, yo, bitches, you're going to do that right now? Just so we'll remember that. So I love that Dave Chappelle said, "White women, shut the fuck up." Yeah,
he totally did. And you know what? I think he was talking about specifically. I forget her name, but that fucking dumb
Lauren. I forget, but yeah, she's one of the typical cute. I followed her for a long time and liked her, and you know, it's like Candace Owens. I'm like, I hear it, but I'm not listening. But I just want to know what you're saying. Candace Owens crazy too. I love that you addressed her. I don't know if you're familiar with Candace Owens.
No.
She's an African American. She's a black conservative who's pro-Trump and always, creating headlines. And she said George Floyd's a criminal. Like, I mean, if you watch the special, so you know. But Lauren, and there's another girl. But I like some of the work they did. They did something on South Africa about white people being murdered by the political group, that's in charge for the land that was apparently taken hundreds of years ago. So, but just knock down the door and murder them, the whole family. So She was the only one that brought that to attention and made a free YouTube documentary because no news wanted to pull that, right? So, but yeah, most of these, they're cute, white, little young bitches that are conservative as fuck and say stupid shit like, I don't see color, shut up and dribble. You know, like, right. So it's one of those.
Yeah, well, she was the one that's told LeBron, shut up and dribble, don't use your voice and shit like that. Who, by the way, LeBron James, in my opinion, is probably one of the best human beings to walk the face of the earth. I think he's up there with Dave Chappelle.
No. I don't know. I don't watch basketball.
In that, you know what, he does so much for his community, and he's such a likable person because he's been with the same woman. He's been an amazing father to his children. He's created a school for underprivileged children. He's donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to college tuition for kids in underprivileged communities. I mean, just every time you see something about him in the news, it's just amazing. Something he's doing that's amazing for the community. And he's a badass fucking basketball player. One of the best one of the best to ever play the game. So he does a shitload of stuff for his community, and for someone to just say like shut up and dribble, like, no, fuck you, bitch. Like, why not? Are you? Yeah, why not use this platform to fucking voice your opinion? Yeah. You know what I mean? And he did, and look at it, people. There's so much hate on the other side.
You can look at her and be like, shut up and shoot a gun and go hunting or something, like, like some stupid shit, go mudding. But like, I don't know. I kind of like when people speak their mind. I like the little throwing shade, but it is. It's like, where's it coming from, and why are you on a side? Why does there need to be sides? There's really not sides. There's a bunch of circles, and we mix in sometimes, and all these circles overlap. That's how I feel. There really isn't this right and left. And for the viewers, we all know how I feel about the right and left. I gave them double fingers last episode or the episode before. Like, I fucking hate it. It's not how humans work.
No, it's totally not. And I mean, it's like that for a reason, Jay. You know that. And I mean, we can have third parties all we want, but that don't fucking matter. It's all about Democrat and Republican. Yeah. And so, going back to using your platform, she also said to Drew Brees about Drew Brees' statement. I don't know if you heard about what he said.
No, I don't know sports.
So Drew Brees is the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
And he said, something to the concept of all lives matter, this and that, right? And so he got flack for that. Actually, a lot of NFL people up in the higher echelons of the NFL even gave him flack for that. And there's some racist motherfuckers up there. But the same lady said, hey, well, he's a professional athlete. He has the right to voice his opinion, and anybody can say whatever they want to say, right? Just like, probably a year after LeBron's incident where she said, shut up and dribble. So I don't think she's on a spectrum of right to left, but she's just a fucking bitch with hate in her heart, man.
But I also am curious, how do you think for something you say your employer should be able to fire you?
Absolutely.
Because you think differently than them?
Well, I don't think it's because you think differently than them, but you're portraying it out to the world, so now you're making your company look bad.
Yeah, I guess that's why comedians are awesome, because they're their own individual business. Right. Because, like, I hate that shit. To be honest with you, I hate that there's people sitting behind a computer just waiting for someone to fuck up so they can ruin their life forever. Trolls. Oh, fuck yeah. And that's because you said all lives. Think about it, like, your life is ruined, you're broke. And now Drew Brees is going to be okay. But, like, I saw a guy, his dad fired him for saying all lives matter. He also said some other dumb shit, but he probably deserved it. But, I see people that say stuff like that, or even not to do with this situation, because guess what? Whatever applies to this situation applies to other situations. But, other people that have made off-color jokes, and then they're fucking broke and can't feed their kids. And then you really listen to the joke, and you're like, wait, he was trying to be funny? Wait, what? He said retarded, and you fired him? Was he trying to make a joke and it was a bad joke? That sucks. But again, check out Patrice O'Neal. I think he was on Fox News arguing with a feminist on this. He's like, I'm expert in funny. Like, and the thing about funny is you tote the line, and sometimes you fail. That's part of learning. Right. And that's part of trying to be funny. So, like, how are you going to punish someone that's in that line of work, especially? But I disagree, man. I mean, if you own a company, you can do whatever you want. But I feel like a lot of companies are doing it to be seen and not because they truly feel that way.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would bet there's a lot of companies that are doing that, for sure. And if you want to call police departments, that's probably one of the things they're doing too. I mean, you see the kneeling, right? And then the next day they're killing, right? But going back to the business part, longtime Sacramento Kings announcer
Yeah.
just got fired from the Sacramento Kings for saying
I was just going to bring that up. All lives matter.
All lives matter, right. And he's 30 years in the business. One of the best.
Chris Webber was the one that pulled that out?
No, DeMarcus Cousins.
Okay.
So Chris Webber, and there's been other basketball players in the past that have accused this guy of being racist, right? His name is Grant Napier.
Yeah.
And he is the voice of the Kings. I mean, if you watch the Kings and you know the Kings, you know Grant Napier's voice, right? I mean, he just says things that no other announcer says. And him and Doug Christie as a pair, just amazing. I'm going to miss hearing that.
Was it like Don Imus? Remember him? He said, nappy-headed hose or something like that, and got in trouble a few years ago for football.
Now, in that situation, getting fired, I don't know, but I think there's more to it, and I think that's why they came down with it. But the Sacramento Kings are owned by an Indian man, Vivek, and their general manager is a Vlade Divac. What is he? I don't know what he is.
Eastern European
something. And so
that's racist, bro.
Well, I don't know what he is.
I'm kidding. It's not. Or white.
But they are all about the movement. They showed up to the protest. They brought players.
We saw them.
Yeah, we saw De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes.
And I recognize none of them because I don't watch sports. But you're like, dude, it's like they seem important.
Right. Well, dude, that's powerful, man. Yeah. Not only do you show up, but you bring your team, your organization, the owner, the GM, the coach, the players.
Well, what do you think about what Dave Chappelle said about the celebrity?
Well, I think celebrities play a certain role, and that role is not to preach, but that role is to be there and show your solidarity with the movement.
Yeah. It was weird that Kanye West did that. I think in Chicago, he just jumped out of a car, put a hood on, and walked. I don't really know much about it, but it was funny because I saw like some Kanye West signs in Sacramento when we were at the BLM movement. I didn't really read it, but it seemed like it was negative towards him because I think he's a MAGA guy. But I
don't think he knows what the fuck he is.
Yeah, who knows? But I like Kanye. I don't know about his politics, and him talking to Trump seemed weird in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
But
I miss the old Kanye.
But Kanye is doing some cool shit with building his own education system, schools out in Wyoming. Check it out, man.
Is it Wyoming?
Hell yeah, Wyoming, bro.
What the fuck is in
Best
Wyoming?
State in America because there's the least amount of fucking people. Not kidding. But Wyoming, yeah, he reviewed his album and what is it called? Something hole, I forget, fire hole or water hole or some shit. Wyoming, some generic name.
It's not shithole.
Redneck home, dude. Wyoming? Are you fucking kidding me? Shithole? We're in a shithole compared to Wyoming, bro.
Wyoming?
Fucking the best nature you ever seen in your life. You ever seen Legends of the Fall?
No.
Oh, son of a.
They probably have some nice mountains, but
dude, the Big Sky came from Wyoming. Wyoming is beautiful. Never been there. I just am obsessed with it. I want to go fly fishing there. It is like the most beautiful state in fucking fucking United States, dude. You got to check this out. Shithole. Holy crap. Mark your words, my friend. This is a beautiful place. This is God's earth.
Who lives there?
Who lives there? No dumbasses. That's who. I don't know. It has, there's like Billings, Helena, but yeah, I'm afraid with Kanye West going there. I was like, god damn it, they're gonna ruin it.
there goes the neighborhood.
But it's just it used to. I don't know if it still does. It had the least amount of people per population, so the wildlife is amazing. The mountains, the sky. A lot of movies shoot up there because it's beautiful. Rough winters, that's why I don't go. But it's amazing. If you've seen Legends of the Fall, it's a classic Brad Pitt movie. Great movie, but a lot of it was shot in Wyoming. And damn, fucking sexy ass landscape, bro.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go to Wyoming. Actually, we're gonna have to go to Wyoming.
Let's go, bro.
So
let's find Kanye's stupid farm.
But going back to firing over saying stuff like that, this is that was a big one. Grant Napier getting fired was, like the Colonel dying almost because now they try
from
KFC, right? Because who had they filled the KFC Colonel with? Bunch of idiots, right? They've already gone to like 3 or 4 different guys, and the guy that they have now is a fucking idiot.
Is this something I should be paying attention to? I have no idea what you're talking about. Fuck KFC,
Popeyes,
bro. Popeyes, Chick-fil-A is the bomb too.
I went to Popeyes today.
Popeyes is my favorite.
Well, dude, I went to Long John Silver's, and I fucking forgot my wallet at home today, so I had to use Apple Pay. Long John Silver's doesn't have Apple Pay. So I went to
it doesn't surprise me. How is Long John Silver's still open? I love Long John Silver's, but it's just the greasiest, crappiest shit, but I love that.
Fuck yeah.
How is it still open?
Right?
After COVID? Like, no one goes there. It's always empty.
Every single fucking Long John Silver's is in like this run-ass down fucking lot.
1985.
Yeah, exactly. There ain't building no fucking new Long John Silvers, that's for sure.
Those clams, those hush puppies, bro.
Oh, the hush
Two
puppies.
fish combo.
Dude, and the little crumbs of whatever the fuck it is at the end. Oh,
and so many sauces. They got fucking so many types of sauce. Hey, yo, fucking Long John Silver, we want to be sponsored by you.
Bring us chicken.
Long John
Silver's.
Silver's. No, we don't need shit. We just want to sponsor you and support the fucking gross food you guys have because that shit's awesome.
Right? Keep building Long John Silvers.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love Long John Silvers.
I'm down with it.
So anyways, I ate fucking Popeye's chicken. But
What'd you get?
The chicken sandwich, spicy chicken sandwich.
Oh, the popular one?
Yeah, I don't see the hype.
It's overrated.
It's overrated.
I like their spicy, just a 3-piece combo. Okay, get that bread.
You know what?
That bread, that bread's
This is
good.
the first time I ever ate Popeyes.
You motherfucker. You talk shit about Wyoming and you've only been to Popeyes once? How dare you?
God damn me. Yeah, funny thing. I keep it traditional.
I've been to Chick-fil-A.
Once.
I was always like, fuck Chick-fil-A. And then there's one not too far from here. And I've gone, it's bomb. They also got a lot of sauces, but it's bomb. And they're efficient as fuck.
Really?
In-N-Out's efficient with their long lines. Chick-fil-A, with COVID, ran them under the water, in my opinion.
Interesting. And you know what? I also have only had, what the fuck's that other one? Not Chick-fil-A. Oh, Chipotle.
Churches? Oh, Chipotle.
Yeah.
Wait.
You ever ate there?
Chipotle?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, many times. It's not my favorite.
No, I ate it once too, and I was like, fuck.
A lot of people love it.
Yeah, people love it.
It's not like Mexican food, it's a thing. It's like Taco Bell. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And they try to be like sustainable and organic.
I love that we're talking about race and we just went into fucking fast food. Hey, Taco Bell, my favorite.
Dude,
But you used to spend $3 and be full. Now it's like $7.
Yeah. Dude, not even. Way more.
Yeah,
Dude,
14.
I remember the grande meal. You'd get like 12 tacos or something like that.
Burritos
for like $6.
and tacos. Yeah.
Now it's like 12.
You remember the Choco Taco?
Oh, yeah. That was
never
ridiculous.
had one.
Yeah, I used to love them, actually. The ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Well, dude, the grilled stuffed burrito.
Yeah, grilled stuffed burrito was the shit. And they had the triple steak burrito or something like that. That was bomb. They got rid of it.
Yeah, they don't
Double
make that
decker
stuff.
taco, motherfuckers. It's weird. I go to certain Taco Bells, they're like, yeah, double decker taco. And I don't know if they're just like, this guy's an idiot and they do like a gordita, some nacho cheese bullshit. But like, double decker taco is the shit.
I don't remember that one.
Makes you know you're old when your fast food restaurants discontinue your favorite item.
Right.
And you think back, when did that come out? Oh shit, 91.
Dude, remember 29-cent hamburgers, 39-cent cheeseburgers at McDonald's?
Yeah. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, they had a certain.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
20 minimum. We used to go by 20 all the time.
Yeah.
For lunch, high
Oh.
school.
Yeah, I knew some. My buddy Gil and Isaac, they would rack up that shit for the week, just eat off that.
Fuck yeah.
Back in the day,
Dude,
yeah.
isn't it fucking crazy that you can buy fucking a shitload of dumbass burgers and spend the same amount as you would like one salad?
Yeah, that's why people are fat.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's all processed.
Including myself,
Fucking pink slime shit.
Yeah, it's horrible shit, but goddamn, I gotta go to Mickey D's. It's my childhood, bro.
It is. Well, for me, McDonald's, I fucking hate McDonald's. Everything
Chicken
about it, I
nuggets?
hate 'em. Yeah, well, chicken nuggets are good.
Or 2 cheeseburger
But
combo.
you know who's better? Wendy's chicken nuggets.
What? Really? I never had them.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You never had Wendy's chicken nuggets?
I said this one of the last episodes. I don't trust redheads. They're the worst of the white people.
Yeah, poor little, what's her name? Wendy.
Yeah, what's her name? Jesus. What's her dad's name?
Son of a bitch. I don't know, Bob?
Something like that. It's like Bill or Bob. Her dad was always in the commercials, right? And then he died.
fucking know.
Yeah, he was a nice old white man.
Oh, my goodness. You got to get some of those fucking chicken nuggets, Jay.
I'll try them. I'm kind of convinced now.
You will never eat a McDonald's chicken nugget again.
I bet you I will.
Oh, fucking delicious.
I'll take that bet right now. Because there's a McDonald's down the street and I don't see no fucking Wendy's anywhere. But I think it's, what is it like? I work with some French guys, and when we go on road trips, they always like, they're like picky on food. Like, I love French guys. They're like the liberal conservative. They're like the liberal guy that says it like it is. They're the best. But like, they get a bad rap, but they're awesome. But these French guys I worked with, we went to Tahoe for a ski trip, and they like, picky about food, and they stopped at a fast food restaurant. I think it was either Wendy's or Carl's, I forget, but where they're like, I was like, why are you guys doing this? You guys are food snobs. They're like, this one actually has real meat. We researched it or something. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
What the hell?
Like, not plastic put in it or whatever.
So it's actually nuggets from chickens?
Well, they get like the hamburger meat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they get like it's actual like meat, not like some processed bullshit.
Pink slime, man.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Wendy's or Carl's. Yeah, let's get this episode going.
Well, now that we're talking about fast food, how the fuck did we get here, Jay?
To fast food? We were talking about Chappelle and serious issues, and then we started talking about fast food.
God damn it.
Hell yeah, I like it.
Well, you know what, dude? Fast food, there's been some movements for slow food. Have you seen that? It's not fucking funny, Jay. This is serious.
You mean I get it. Yeah, because mentally challenged people need food too. Oh, you didn't mean that.
You're an asshole.
Wait,
Jay.
Is mentally challenged the right word? My girlfriend always yells at me because you can't say the R word.
Right?
Retarded.
No, I think you did. But that was a pretty good joke, Jay.
But retarded is definitely a word that we should keep. Whether you shouldn't say it's not mentally challenged, it's special needs. I forget. I can't keep up.
Right.
But you should never use retarded for those people. You should use retarded for like people on 90 Day Fiance.
Exactly.
They're retarded.
And your stupid friends.
Yeah. Well, you have friends?
No.
That was the only one, Nick.
Yeah, you are.
Yes.
So, what the fuck were we talking about again, Jay?
Just let the river flow, bro.
Let the river flow.
Taoism.
Yeah, I fucking forgot. Oh, slow food.
So what is the fucking slow food?
So slow food is basically the same model as, I guess, what you're saying about Wendy's hamburgers, right? It's all sustainable stuff, and it takes longer to produce, and it's like fruit salads and shit like that, right? But if you still go through a drive-through, you still get the same feeling of getting your food quick, but it's just good, healthy food.
Okay.
Kind of.
Oh, that's cool. You need some healthy food.
And you haven't heard of it because obviously nobody gives a fuck.
And when I go to a drive-through, or is that a drive-through?
Yeah.
I want some Mickey D's. I want to run with the devil.
The greasy shit.
I don't want none of that bullshit. If I want health, I'll cook at home, bro.
You know what? When we were young, you would eat all this nasty shit. It didn't fucking matter, right? You just lived your life. But now, 35 years old, dude, when I eat a greasy ass burger, I fucking feel it, dude. My fingers fucking feel a certain way. I just feel fucking disgusting.
Yeah, when you get to your 30s or your mid 30s, it's like you're eating McDonald's, drinking a tall boy, and you're like late at night smoking a joint, and they're like, "Am I having a heart attack?" I mean, that would make sense. I grew up on McDonald's.
Yeah, I'll go to sleep.
Oh shit!
I'll just go to sleep.
And then I jog the next day and feel better.
Right? Yeah. Well, and you know what? Same with drinking, right? You get to a point. I don't know about you, Jay. You fucking alcoholic, but
Hey, man.
dude, I'll drink like 4 or 5 beers and I'm fucking toasted.
That's because you're a pussy.
This is true.
You call me an alcoholic, I call you a pussy.
But I did bring some OG
Shout out
shit
to
today.
Nick. Brought Mickey's.
Mickey's today.
These are the grenades, right? They call them the grenades?
The grenade bottle.
Yeah, I haven't had one of these in forever. Fine malt liquor.
You want another one? Looks like
yeah,
they're empty.
Yeah. Let's do it. And this is not whiskey, by the way. This is lemonade.
He's lying.
With whiskey in it. But
by the way, thanks for tuning in again and watching Water Tower Podcast with Jay and I. We truly appreciate the following. And if you haven't already, hit that subscription button. It would really help us out a lot in our long endeavor to produce amazing content.
yeah, and we're gonna do this for a long time. So we're slowly growing, and our last episode was great. Hopefully YouTube's been fucking with our views.
Fucking YouTube.
I don't know why, but maybe that's why we should go to Spotify. Let's follow Joe Rogan, the
Following
master.
Joe Rogan's footsteps.
I was thinking about building a Joe Rogan shrine right here. What do you think?
Well, you know what? I was texting him earlier, and he was like, yeah, just do what you do. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, thanks, Joe.
I don't think that was Joe Rogan.
I was all sad.
It's like, just come over and grab my dick. It's not Joe Rogan, bro. But like we could light some incense for him, and he's like the podcast god. He literally has beat Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. He's the man.
That's sad.
Comic.
Is it sad?
No, no. Fuck no. It makes me so happy.
Yeah?
Because someone is telling their fucking 100% true opinion.
But it's not all Joe Rogan. I mean, it is Joe Rogan, but I mean, his guests, really sell some shows. I mean, the only reason I watch sometimes is because he has such a dynamic guest.
Well, he never does one by himself. Podcasts are basically interviews.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But interesting that you say that, Jay, because who was it that was a comedian that has a late night show?
Jimmy Fallon?
No.
Jimmy Kimmel?
No. Keep going.
Oh, shit.
He's left.
Conan O'Brien. All of them are left. Conan O'Brien?
No.
Jimmy Kimmel's really left.
No.
Man show guy.
I forgot. Whatever. But I was watching him for a while, several years back, and he was spitting some real shit too, man. And I would, I mean, he's a comedian, he has a show, but the way he talks and what he's talking about, I was like, okay, I can resonate. That's interesting.
Who was it?
What the fuck?
What do you look like?
Redhead? No, brown hair, tall guy.
Obviously white.
Yes. What the fuck was his name? I don't know, Jay.
Huh.
I'm not gonna remember. But if you keep naming people, I might remember.
Okay. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. What if Donald Trump? Okay. Yes or no question coming at you. Donald Trump, after he's done being president, if he wins or loses, whatever, when he's done, he starts a talk show. And he has left-leaning guests come on, like celebrities and shit.
Oh my goodness.
I'm watching.
It would not surprise me.
I'm watching.
If that happened, I would not blink. I would not even blink. Like it would just.
But can Donald Trump listen?
Fuck no. Fuck no. But
obviously not.
But he can have viewers. Dude, that's what he's good at, is getting fucking people to watch his shit.
Hey, man, he became president. Yeah, he's really good at it.
He fucking became president, dude.
I got high. I got super stoned last night, and I looked at my girlfriend Gina, and I was like, Donald Trump's our president. How fucking nuts is that? What the fuck?
It may go on a second term.
Dude. Okay, let's talk about this. He going to win a second term? Because I was like, for sure, yeah. Now I'm like, more than likely, but BLM movement, protest, perfect time. November's right around the corner. Or is Trump going to do some dumb gangster dictatorship?
Ooh.
You better not, motherfucker.
You know what? And at this time, I think it can go either way. I think it can go either one of those. But are they thinking about bringing in another candidate?
I hope so.
I thought I read something like that.
I saw the TikTok today. I posted on my Instagram. I posted on the Water Tower podcast Instagram story. It was a girl, and she had like a paper with like check marks, and it was like, who do you want for president 2020? Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And then she created her own checkbox in line and was like crying in the background and put Joe Rogan. But like, honestly, why the fuck not? Like,
right?
I don't think he wants the job. I don't think he's qualified for the job. But is Donald Trump qualified? Maybe. Is Joe Biden qualified? He's fucking doesn't know what the fuck he's saying.
Donald Trump is not qualified to be our fucking president.
Actually, he is, because he became president.
Well, yeah. Well, you're right. 100%.
Right? Is that weird?
Well, there's no denying that. But
you know what? I'm
just a dumb motherfucker.
I only voted a couple times. So the first time I voted was for Barack Obama, and Barack was roasting, because he's fucking smart and a good speaker, roasting Donald Trump. And now, I remember he said, oh, the difference between me and you is I became president. It was like a drop of the mic moment in this big dinner. Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
Oh, I gotta watch it. And Donald Trump's doing like this.
Next year, motherfucker.
And he became president. I think a few years later, he became president. It was like, because he was saying, we need Obama's birth certificate. And so he was at this dinner, Obama's on stage, and Obama's smart, and he roasted him. And I was like, hell yeah, Obama, like a comic, roasted that motherfucker.
Is Obama the first president to have a Nobel Peace Prize?
I doubt it, but I don't know.
Pretty fucking impressive.
What did he get it for with the Palestine-Israeli conflict?
I have no idea. I don't know.
He just got it.
Yeah, he got it.
It's like, hey, you got a Super Bowl trophy? What was that for? I don't know.
Playing some game.
Some game.
You know what? So if Donald Trump gets another 4 years, what are we going to look at, Jay? You think it's going to be much of the same that we see, or?
I answer that question with another question. With 4 years of Joe Biden, what are we going to see?
Well, I think that'd probably take us back to whatever we had going before this.
Two rich white guys that are fucking insane that all have like sexual harassment cases.
Oh yeah, and we saw this with Epstein documentary.
But Democrats, shame on you, Democrats. This is your come on. He did not win. I don't believe it.
That's just a sad situation.
Well, here's my conspiracy theory. Oh, conspiracy theory. I picked the right button.
Good job, Jay.
Joe Biden, during COVID was implanted by the left because they knew Donald Trump would destroy the retarded. I mean, yeah, retarded is a perfect word for Joe Biden. Joe Biden, because he can't talk.
Dun, dun, dun.
So during COVID, they murdered Joe Biden, which they probably should have. He's creepy as fuck. And then they produced a Joe Biden look-alike drone who could talk smart. And Obama's got a microphone, and it's speaking through him. What do you think?
What the fuck are you talking about, Jay?
I just smoked some herb, and I'm drinking whiskey and a Mickey's, bro. What do you expect?
You're fucked up, Jay.
You don't think so? I would do it.
I don't even remember what you said.
I just said that during COVID, they killed Joe Biden and they produced a drone that looks like Joe Biden, but Obama has a microphone and he's going to run as candidate.
Ah, I see.
So he's going to be well spoken. He's going to complete a full sentence.
Why
I
not,
get it.
Why not just throw Obama in there? Do it with the
It's
drone.
illegal, I think.
Oh, is
because
it?
he served 8 years. He can't be president.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Donald Trump will probably change that law, but because apparently he does whatever the fuck he wants. But yeah, I think only Teddy Roosevelt served 3 terms in a weird like loophole or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But
what about Donald Trump's taxes? We never seen them.
that is some fucking bullshit. That pisses me off so much that none of his followers fucking talk about it. Like, hey, you know, as a business person, you gotta keep that secret.
Too smart.
It's like, fuck that. He was talking about birth certificates for Obama. He was talking about Hillary's emails and all that. By the way, we got to talk about Hillary. But anyways, talking about all that shit. And then fucking, when I become president, I'll release it. He said that, right? Wasn't he like, I will release it? And now he's just like, well, they're doing this. It's a red herring. Fuck that shit. That is some goddamn bull. I got to produce my bullshit and you don't got to produce shit.
But you know who else doesn't pay taxes, Jay? Every other fucking millionaire and billionaire in this fucking country.
Well, that's why they're rich, because they're smart as fuck. And that's what I was saying about Elon Musk is he's not a right or left guy. He's a guy trying to do what he wants to do and using them as fucking pawns in chess. Oh, I got to play this game. The sheriff's in town, whatever. Who's going to give me what I need? That's how you get goals. And I'm not saying it's right ethically all the time. I don't think Elon Musk is doing anything crazy, but you know, that's what it is.
Wonder if he pays taxes.
Elon Musk?
Yeah.
I'm sure he has some type of tax payment, but look at Panama, the Panama Papers. Look at, dude, there's like at the bank ING. They have a lot of Mexican billionaires that don't have jobs somehow on their list. They got busted a few years ago, and I'm sure they're still doing it, but they have tons of cartel guys. Where is that money going? You think those cartel guys are digging holes? No, they learned from Pablo Escobar. The shit gets wet. But
That's why our hoods have drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So, dude, imagine, and I've seen a lot of reform that's taking place, actually circling way the fuck back to what we initially started talking about in the protests and things like this. And the
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Rick James, bitch. Defunding the police. That's a big topic right now. A lot of information's going on, a lot of misinformation's going on, and a lot of people jumping to conclusions.
Well, me and you talked about this. We're guilty. We marched in the BLM protests, and then like, was it before that or after that? We're like, what does defund the police mean? I saw a lot of signs.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, but looking into it, it's like I've been saying for years, like the United States could probably back up on that military budget a bit. I get it. We need a strong military, but we could definitely cut that budget and still be stronger than anyone. So, but you know, enough's never enough, right? But it's off subject. But do you ever see the movie Apocalypto?
Fuck yeah, that's an amazing movie.
At the beginning, they're all around in a huddle. And I don't know if they're talking about white man, but I'm sure it's assumed to be the white man. And they talked about greed. Sorry, I got some Mickey's burps. But it's talking about how the hole is unfillable of greed. And I do believe that's kind of white. I believe every human has that in them, but white people definitely have a bigger one. I don't know, my bad. I'm white. I have it too. But it's, it's greed, bro.
It is. The greed is bad. But yeah, I agree. Apocalypto, great fucking movie.
You know the director?
No, who was it?
Mel Gibson.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing movie. Why did we go into?
Sorry, I interrupted you. You asked me some question. And I just went like, "Hey, you've seen Apocalypto?"
What was the fucking question?
Had to do with something greed, probably. But we're talking about Elon Musk.
Taxes? No, going back. Circling back
to Panama, like not paying tax, being smart, not paying.
No, we're talking about protest, BLM movement.
Oh, defund the police.
Oh, defund the police.
Okay,
yes.
Let's do a little. I don't know.
Good job. Louder, Jay. Okay, so defunding the police. Yeah, totally. We were walking and thinking, what does that even mean, right? They're starting to spew this. You see signs that say this. What does that mean? And so automatically, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, family, friends, just putting a bunch of stuff out there like, how can we defund the police? Who are you going to call when somebody breaks into your car? Are you going to call 911? You're going to expect someone to be there. That's not what defunding the police means. After doing a bunch of reading over the last few days, it's really just demilitarizing police. And not only demilitarizing them, but it's making it so that, and actually it turns out that there's a shitload of cities across the United States that are doing this already. And we can look to these cities to see how it's going. One of them is Austin, Texas, I believe. And so what they're doing is taking away a budget from the police department, putting it towards a program where instead of a police officer reporting to a domestic situation where maybe there's an out-of-control person in a household or something, but this out-of-control person has mental disabilities. And so you send a police officer, a social worker, and a medical personnel on this ride to the house to de-escalate the situation. So whether that person needs some kind of mental coach, whether that person needs to, some kind of medical issue, or whether that person is really violent, now you have a team of individuals going in. And so it lowers the risk of violence from police officer, and it increases the risk of helping somebody out instead of them ending up in a jail. And it turns out it works, man. Less people get arrested, less violence, less tragedies. And so defunding the police is not fucking saying no more officers, right? It's basically saying, let's figure out a program where we're not fucking giving them tanks and fucking crazy ass military gear. We're using these budgets to go into other programs like this.
Well, I've heard both arguments. I agree that, just like I said, defunding the military, defunding the police is probably something. I think in the 70s, I want to say Nixon or Reagan started the slow movement towards where we're at now, where they have fucking tanks and not real tanks, but
Right.
I mean, armored vehicles.
Law and order.
And it's like I hear two arguments. I heard Stockton did the same thing years back.
I think I read something about Stockton.
It didn't seem to work out very well there. Go to Stockton today. Go live there, I dare you. But it's like I know some people live in Stockton. There's some okay areas, but I don't know much about that. But I have heard some podcasts, The Fighter and the Kid, talked about that, and they're like, "You fucking crazy! Like, don't defund the police." And they're like, but I do see that that money the budget's been blown up. And it doesn't need to be.
$100 billion a year.
For all police forces?
In the nation.
So just
across the board, 100.
Lindsay, Fresno, LA, San Francisco, New York.
Across the nation.
1 billion.
100 billion.
How many people fall under that?
I have no idea. I don't know.
That doesn't seem I'll be honest, that's a lot, but man, the United States is huge.
$100 billion.
Oh, you said 100. I thought you said 1 billion.
No, 100 billion.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot
of
money.
And for some,
and they don't need a college degree.
Right.
Fuck.
I mean, that's another thing, right? I mean, it's just too goddamn easy to be a cop.
Fat cops out there.
There is, and I think I read somewhere it's easier to be a cop than a barber.
I was talking. You saw the new. That's crazy. But you saw the New York. That was exactly what he said. My buddy that grew up in New York, the New York Union police chief, spoke out. You saw that? Oh yeah, right. Very angrily, but he was pissed. My buddy who's from the state of New York was like, "Yeah, it takes 6 months or 6 months to be a cop. Don't quote me on this. I'm drinking a whiskey, but 6 months to be a cop, and it takes 16 months to be a makeup artist or to cut hair,
right,
or something like that.
Crazy
numbers. Those numbers are obviously wrong, but that's insane.
Yeah, exactly.
The fuck's wrong with us,
right? And that's a systematic problem already. So if you say there's no systematic problems, that's already one of them. And so defunding the police has to do with that. It's other programs, but mostly just bringing in new systems, right? Documenting more systems. New York is talking about, well, we're going to enforce the body cam things. Like, get the fuck out of here.
What?
The body cams.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So
how does not everyone, with that budget, how does not everyone have a working body cam? We
right?
buy GoPros all the time for the shit we do. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, well, they work. It's a problem, man. It's a systematic problem, but I think there's a lot of rhetoric around the defunding the police that people don't understand.
Yeah, well, just hearing it's a little. Even me and you talked about it,
right.
What the fuck? I don't want to live without police because in San Francisco, I knew some anarchists that really believed in it, and I was like, fuck that. You never met an asshole. Because anarchy, basically, you create your community, you trade the next community. But it's what if one guy's oh, I can't produce anything, so I'm going to take your shit because I'm strong. That's an asshole.
That's an asshole.
And assholes exist.
And there's a lot of them out there. Dude, absolutely, man. And to be honest, maybe I would call the cops if somebody robbed me, but dude, you hear it time and time again, especially in colored communities. Yeah, I called the cops, or women. A lot. We've seen it in the Epstein case. They go to the police department, they report, hey, this guy raped me, or hey, I just got mugged, and it's like, yeah, fill out this paperwork, get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's like you're wasting my time. Is it a murder? No, then go fuck yourself.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I've definitely had a hit and run recently. I think I talked about this too on a podcast, but it's just like I had to buy my police report that only had the information I gave them on it, and I couldn't check it until I paid for it.
Fucked up.
And they didn't take card. I had to go get cash at the local mini mart down the street.
Fuckers.
It's like, what the fuck? This is the information I gave you. Why did I pay money for this?
So it's a fucking problem. It's a fucking problem. It needs to be looked at sincerely and in depth. And if reorganizing police departments is the way to go, or defunding them is what they're calling it, but it's more of just restructuring and developing more programs, then fucking do it.
Did you see the Minneapolis mayor?
The mayor? Oh, the mayor?
Mayor, sorry, I pronounced.
No, what did he say?
So he's been, that's where George Floyd was murdered, right? So he's been apparently like out in the community, the protests. He cried at the casket, seemed a little staged in my opinion. Bawling. Like,
okay.
I don't know. He's a younger dude, but he asked for the officers to be arrested, I think the next day or that week or something, but really soon. And then they had him come up to a stage in a rally, and he's surrounded by protesters. And a lady, I don't know who she was, grabbed the mic from the guy that had it and said, "We have a yes or no question for you." I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear this, because that doesn't seem like a good question to have for
I didn't
someone.
watch it.
He's been doing everything. He's dancing. He's got the white boy dance with everybody. But then they asked him, like, will you, yes or no, abolish the police force?
I think I read about this.
Fact check me on this, but I believe it was abolish, not defund.
Right, abolish.
Yeah, and he was like, what? Wait, like completely? Like overnight? Like you could tell he's trying to talk to him like, right. Yes or no? And so you lost me there. You lost me. You're forcefully trying to force a person with basically a invisible gun to his head in the middle of a protest to say something that you want him to say.
Right.
That's weird.
I heard that interview actually on NPR. They interviewed the mayor, and he was talking about that, because that was like near his house or something like that, right?
I don't know. It was out on the street, and he was surrounded, and he basically said, no, I don't agree with 100% abolishing police, but he's spoken about restructuring. Maybe he's lying.
Well, that's exactly what he was talking about in the interview that I watched or listened to. And, dude, I totally agree with what he's talking about. He was put on the spot, so he looks bad, right, because he says no to that one answer. But abolishing the police is very different from defunding the police.
Exactly.
Because abolishing, I think, actually, that Buffalo Police Department, of those 57 officers that resigned because those two guys got in trouble for pushing that old man who I think died, right? I don't know. I'm not sure either, but I think that's what I heard. But anyway, so they're talking about abolishing that police department because obviously, they're all fuckheads over there. So that's a different story. Yeah, defunding the police is...
But are they all fuckheads?
Fuck, if every single one of them resigned...
It was weird that many people...
Fuck them all.
But guess what? So what? So this was the argument against defund. Actually, finish your point. Sorry.
Well, no, I think I was done with that point. But going back to those guys...
what was he saying in the NPR interview?
Oh, well, in the interview, that's exactly what he was saying was, I was put on the spot. I said no. I got a lot of hate. People you were cheering in the negative. But right after that, people that are in the movement, that are in the Black Lives Matter movement, contacted me, and we met and we talked about exactly what we're gonna do to see what we can make changes, and that's restructuring the police department. Because nobody wants to get burglarized and not have an officer there to serve the people. And I totally agree with that, dude. We need individuals to make sure that we're being safe or whatever that may be, but just doing it fucking right.
Yeah, and it's weird to have a mayor who's literally doing everything you want him to do, making sure these cops get arrested, marching with you, dancing with you, crying at a casket, although I thought it was fake. But, doing everything, and then he disagrees one time, and it's literally, she said, fuck you, get him fucking out of here, and he got berated. It's a hardcore video, but
he did.
It's good for him for getting back in there and being like, no, like, we're going to make changes, we're going to prove this lady wrong.
Well, and I think it goes back to even the rioting and shit, right? It's the people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're stir crazy. They've been in the house for 3 fucking months, and then they get out, and now they don't know what the fuck to do, so they're vandalizing, whatever. I mean, that's probably not the case, but, when he says no, most of the people that don't know a fucking thing about nothing, they're just out there to cause ruckus. They're the ones like, you fuck you, asshole.
Dude, the whole crowd looked like he was getting earful all this long walk of shame.
Sure.
That's a real walk of shame.
But like he said, afterwards, the people that are really interested in creating change, they've contacted me since, and we've had conversations about what to do.
Well, and a mob's a scary thing because of that situation. There's a vibe like, and when it's easy to join a mob. It's hard to be the individual, stand up for what you really believe. And I give him kudos for being like, no, because I was like, he's gonna fold, he's a bitch, he's gonna fold. But he was like, no, because that's insane to abolish the police overnight. But I'm glad people watching at home, I think, probably a little calmer, not in the area, not like basing their feelings off emotion. I'm glad they reached out to him because that's going to fix the situation, because we talked about this before. There's a lot of white people that are ignorant, including myself, but even more so that are on the fence of this. Do we buy this bullshit?
Sure.
Do we not? And, say what you will, but we all know that's true. And a lot of them get pushed on what I consider the wrong side of the fence because of videos like these. And of course, these videos go viral, obviously. But it's like when you watch those videos and I talk to these people, and it's like, well, so if I don't agree with 100% what they say, like, fuck you, go fuck yourself, you die. I'm like,
Yeah, and you know what? I would just say to that, take it with a grain of salt, because again, you through all of this, you can't disconcern or whatever, I don't know how to say this, but you can't discount these feelings, right? These feelings of why they're even in the streets in the first place, right? These are, hundreds of years and generations of injustices and just gruesome shit that you can't even fucking imagine. So you can see where that, not rage, but that energy comes from. And so when you have a reaction like that, and that's what I like about what he said in the interview too, is like, hey, you have to walk through that, because even though that you have to speak your mind and just hope that they respect that, and then you walk right through it, and you
part of the job.
It's part of the job, right? And with these people,
it's a taxpayer job.
They have a lot of energy right now, and so you just got to take that with a grain of salt and just say, okay, well, hey, these people are a little pissed, but I'm still with them. Let's see it. Let's continue this fight, and let's keep going.
I didn't know he did the interview, but that's awesome. That sounds like it's going towards a positive direction, because, I told you I've talked to some people that have left the Republican Party because Trump had a huge opportunity here and he dropped the ball. Oh man.
See, that's what I thought. We talked to actually a couple podcasts ago about a conspiracy of what was going on, and that's exactly what I thought. I thought maybe this was kind of not staged, but Trump was going to take advantage of the situation, get those officers arrested, and he was going to look like the hero.
Yeah.
But it's not looking like that right
now. There goes your conspiracy.
There goes my conspiracy. Out the window.
Oh, we got to get the...
Yeah, that was gone.
But, but he had a huge opportunity, and, it's... I've talked to people that have been like, I can't be in the same party as him. Whether you believe he's a true Republican or not, obviously if you follow McCain or the history of Trump's quotes, he's not a true Republican. But he is what the Republican Party is now, whatever it is. But it's, I've talked to people that have changed their opinions about that, But they do see videos like that mirror video, and but it's a big gray area. We talk about that. And it's important to remember, like, what the real issue is here. Go back to the original issue. A man had 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
46 seconds.
And of a knee on his neck.
But that's not the real issue. That is a real issue, but that's
that shows the real issue.
Yeah, that's just a piece.
Tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg, right? And that's just a piece of this just huge fucking puzzle, man. That's been going on for decades, and generations really, but more so in what we've seen and. Police brutality for decades. But so another statistic I wrote down, this was another interesting one. 3 million American students have a police officer in their school and not a nurse.
Nick, I think this is a good opportunity. Can I go take a piss and you restart with that question?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so I have another statistic here, Jay, and that's 3 million American students have a police officer in their school and not a nurse.
That's fucking nutty.
That's crazy, huh? And I would imagine probably not a librarian either. If they don't have a nurse, they don't have a fucking librarian.
Do we need a librarian? What they do?
Fuck yeah, we need a librarian.
That's what they did. But there's like no books anymore, right? It's all digital.
Dude, so defunding the police, right? What does that all mean? It's kind of a triggering fact that we go through this pandemic. COVID-19 hits. We have this pandemic. Doctors are wearing fucking trash bags and fucking bottles over their face. No PPE. We can't get equipment out to these doctors or nurses. But then everything settles down and we go through these protests. The next thing you know, we have fucking billions of dollars of military gear out in the streets ready to go.
Yeah.
I mean, within a fucking couple days. So,
well, who's the girl that was a police officer that died recently?
I'm not sure. Here in Sac?
No.
There's one that died here in Sac.
Yeah, but it was recently. It was like right after George Floyd or before. It's just viral, like it's going around, just like George Floyd. I forget, my bad. But she was a cop and she was sleeping in her apartment. I forget what state it is, but they have a no knock warrant.
Oh, right.
What the fuck is that?
Right?
No knock warrant? Don't you have to read the fucking warrant to know it's real before they bust in and shoot your ass?
Exactly.
What the fuck is that?
Where are our fucking priorities?
Fuck no knock warrants. Who agrees to that?
So one of the amendments in a bill that they're getting ready to pass is going to eliminate that. And actually, they're going to do another thing, and I wrote this down. Actually, it's the Justice and Policing Act. That's what it's called. And one of the biggest things I got out of that was you're going to be able, and this is how I read it. Maybe it's different because this fucking legal lingo is fucking, or the legal jargon is just
I think all three of those are acceptable answers.
So
limbo, lingo, jargon.
Yeah, right. So anyways, so they talk about if you get convicted of a crime, and I don't know if you know this or not, Jay, but they can repossess all your shit. So if they think it has something to do with the crime, they can take it, whether that's your boat, your car, your house, your jewelry, whatever they think, and they take it. They can keep it. So if it turns out that you got on bail, you beat the case, you don't get your shit back.
What? Even if you win?
You don't get your shit back. And the cops have been criticized for this for fucking ever because they're making fucking a shitload of money, dude.
Sons of bitches.
Sons of bitches. So this, in this new bill, they're saying that if you get off and it turns out that you're innocent, you get your shit back. Which is pretty fucking big.
It doesn't fucking surprise me. Because every time I mess with legal shit, it's like,
right?
It's not good.
No,
it just doesn't make sense. And I'm like, wait, what? And they're like, shut the fuck up. Stand in line. Fill this paper.
More money.
Yeah, it's like, I get it. But I'm not saying it's right, but that's how I always assume. Like the cops and the police, don't fuck with them because they go fuck your life up.
Oh, you're right. They can.
Yeah, it's not right. So, kind of like Seattle, it's going on right now. They have a 6-block radius of downtown Seattle that's been taken over by... I'm not even sure, Nick. Is it Black Lives Matter? I heard multiple groups or some leaders, but they have guns. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
That is interesting, my friend. That is, you know what? I feel that it's one of those things. I feel like it is when Donald Trump got elected president. I was not happy about it, but I was like, all right, let's see what the fuck happens. Let's see what's all about. So I'm curious to see how that pans out. I would say, how the fuck do you take over a police department? Like that
they're bowing down, basically.
Well, so yes, maybe, but it almost seems orchestrated, right? Because where else has that fucking happened? Yeah, where else has that happened, Jay?
It's happened in the country. I've never seen it in downtown.
Right.
But it's interesting that, to me, it's crazy. And I like to get high and watch Fox News.
Good for you, Jay.
Just like I like to watch the Democratic debates high, because you just see the bullshit for what it is. But I was watching, was it Chris? I don't know what the fuck his name is. Tucker or some shit. The new Republican face, the guy that's always yelling. But he was talking about it, and it was fucking funny because he was like, yeah, they apparently have different groups. Now, I don't know if it's accurate, but he's like, they have different groups. Here's a video of a guy with a gun. He's apparently an up-and-coming rapper who's now a leader of this group who also competes with other groups. Yeah, warlord. And they have barricades in the entrance, and they like to screen people who come in because we know that certain people don't want anybody to come into their country because it's a new country, and that they screen to make sure no illegal people get in and ruin what they want. Interesting. And we found out that they actually berated some people spray painting within the new country, and they kicked them out, or they berated them. Funny, they are against spray painting within their country, but it's okay when it wasn't their country. And I know I get the deeper sense, but it's fucking funny. It is like, when you get people together, just watch, because it's going to be a lot of problems.
Dude, it wouldn't take much to read a few articles, and actually the articles I was reading on it were actually a lot of right articles, and that's exactly what they were talking about, was this warlord rapper who's on, I don't know what, a Spotify or something.
That's the guy with the gun, big ass gun.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You know, who's the warlord and this and that. But I would say don't ever use trust and the Fox News in the same sentence again, Jay.
What'd I say?
I don't know if I should trust this for Fox News or not, but...
Oh.
Because you can't.
Would you trust CNN or MSNBC?
Fuck no, I don't trust any of them.
Okay, just checking.
Fuck all of them. They're all owned by these billionaires. I don't know if you knew that.
But it is
literally are.
But I watch it for pure high comedy. But it was there was one where it was like, this is real life. There was a dude walking with a machine gun. I think he's in charge of the police or something. And there's a guy next to him playing the trumpet.
Well, dude, so that's kind of my take on this whole thing. It's like, it's funny, it's interesting.
But they're only taking what they want out of it.
But it just seems like it's just it almost seems like hippie-ish, right? Like it's just
a commune. It's been done.
It's a commune, right? Exactly. It's
but
been
downtown.
Done. But see, that's the thing, right? The article I read, it said the police came back and took the stuff out of the police department. So it took whatever they had in there, they took out and then let them go in. So doesn't that seem funny to you? Like, what the fuck? Who does that? Like, yeah, hold on. Let us get our shit out, and you guys can have the fucking building. How the fuck does that even happen?
Yeah, I think the police chief was speaking. That's like the precinct she started at and all this, but it was kind of like a weak answer, like And then like the mayor apparently has been talking about like gay pride and stuff, like just not addressing it. And it's obviously they're bowing down. Like they're like, okay, let's keep the peace and be right here on the right side of history. But
everywhere else in the country, they're fucking gassing and
it's Seattle though. It's fucking Seattle.
Interesting.
It's like San Francisco or Portland. They're extreme left cities that are surrounded by rural communities.
Well, Trump already said, either take care of your city or I'm gonna fucking do it for you. So I mean, we'll see, man. It does.
National Guard going in there.
I have read, about. They have a farm and there's like 6 blocks, and the local businesses in that area are like, fuck the police. We don't need police. Which
is a great idea. They say like they have demands, right? Have you saw that?
Yeah, they have a list of demands, right?
To Seattle, which is weird to have if you're in your own country, now you have demands of the surrounding country. Don't they have demands?
Well, they're not a fucking country, Jay.
But they're claiming that, right?
No, fuck no. What's
it called?
It's called the autonomous zone. So
no, it's called something autonomous zone.
Yeah, something autonomous zone.
CAP or CARP or
CAS.
I don't know, CAS.
CAS. But it's never gonna get that fucking far. Please, that's not gonna fucking happen, dude. It's just kind of a situation where they think they've taken over a certain area and they're going to get dismantled pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually, right? But you know what? I was like, this is bullshit, because we're talking about businesses that like opened up down there.
Right.
They're fucked. They're
well, dude. From what I read, they're charging people tax.
Because they have a free food center. It all sounds great on paper, and that's what a lot of these things. And I'm trying to look up this.
That fucking happened in a week.
Well, they had a free food center, they had a medic center, a lot of cool stuff. They had like an art center, typical hippie commune. Though? Yeah, sure, why not? Do it overnight. A couple of idiots get drunk and I'm doing art, and but they had like a free food center. Yeah, it could happen, but to sustain it's the hard part, and so they started charging people to get in.
Is that right?
Yeah, which is from Fox News.
Well, dude, again, you take any situation that's similar to this, or even the protests themselves, the movement, the Black Lives Matter movement. You need a structured plan. You need to go in with the plan. And yes, protesting does stuff. Rioting does something to wake people up. But as an organization and as a movement, I really hope, and I don't know this because I'm not in the movement, obviously, but I hope that there's a group of people that are sitting in offices every day creating a real list of demands. Because I did read their list of demands, and there was a couple good things in there, but a couple of them also were like, what the hell? Really?
It's a bit much, right? Well, and my first reaction is like, oh, here we go. Good luck, guys. This is weird. But then, I thought about, and I was trying to look it up. No success. But we need a Jamie, by the way. If anyone wants to work for free,
right?
We'll buy you beer and weed.
We'll call you Jamie.
Yeah, I'll call you Jamie. I don't care what your name is. You're Jamie.
But you got to be smart like
you got to Google shit for us. We got to be like, hey.
Hey, Jamie's actually a smart motherfucker.
Yeah, apparently. But there's a community in India with a bunch of people from different countries have joined. I think it started in the 60s and it's still going on successfully. And they cut the grass, they take a pair of this, they provide a product that benefits the community. They have a big temple in the middle, but no religion's really allowed, but you're allowed to pray to any god you want. So if you're a Christian, you're Muslim, you go to this temple, you do what you want, But there's no country, I don't think there's a monetary system, and I don't believe there's a religion-based system off the country. So it's been successful since the 60s. So I thought about that, and I said, well, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that would be nice?
It would be nice to fucking try it. Let's...
But who gets to decide who gets to take over blocks of downtown? What if I want that over them?
Well, and I think we've already seen small bits of that in these communities. Especially here in East Sac, West Sac, places like these that have community gardens, right? That's basically a fuck you to the fucking unsustainable agricultural market, right? It's like community gardens where this whole block, a few hundred people maintain it. They get the fruits of their labor and all this stuff. So we're seeing some of that going on already, but it's really, and then we've seen also, it was almost on the ballot, splitting up California. Remember that shit?
Yeah, which honestly I agree with. Which one were you seeing?
On the
ballot.
Yeah, I don't think it ever made it to the ballot. Maybe it did. I don't fucking.
Is that the Central Valley separating from the coastline, basically?
No, that was splitting California in 3 different sections in 3 states:
North, South, and Central.
Yep, exactly.
Well, I agree with that because from where we're from, a very conservative area. How is some guy in San Francisco who's completely opposite political spectrum, who's not farming, Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, how do they get to dictate what happens in Lindsay, California, or Fresno, or Bakersfield? That makes no fucking sense to me. And that economy is so huge, it is absurd who gets to decide where the water goes. Yeah. To fucking golf courses in fucking LA, to some fucking fountains, over fucking food that feeds the world? Are you fucking retarded? So yes, I agree with that the Central Valley should have their own fucking country.
Well, and that's the biggest
argument. Our own state, sorry.
State. And then that is completely different to Southern California. That's a whole nother culture down there. So
LA, very left, San Diego, very right.
And so that's the argument, right? Is one guy is in charge of all that shit? All these varying fucking areas of the... I mean, who knows what that'll do politically in the fucking... What do they call that? The college... the fuck do you call that? Where you don't really vote?
Education?
No,
you don't really vote. What?
It's like they call it the college vote.
Oh, not the college. The fuck.
Electoral college.
Electoral vote, which is a bunch of bullshit. So wait, my vote doesn't matter. So basically, this is why I agree with that because of what you just said. Is that if you're a Republican in the state of California, hate to break it to you. By the way, I'm not, but hate to break it to you, your vote doesn't matter. Is that fair?
Right?
Even the opposite. Is it fair?
And then you push the argument that, your vote counts. So yeah, that's an argument that, has been had, and I'm not the one to have it, but...
Where did we grow up? What kind of town was it? Where was the race?
Oh, Mexican.
Okay, I have heard of many people in San Francisco, very left-leaning, accepting environment. Now, trust me, the Central Valley has plenty of white neighborhoods, but I have heard a lot of them say, why are we putting that bullet train down there? Fuck them, those fucking rednecks. But they're going to go, oh, don't talk about the brown man's religion, Islam. It's like, dude, you have brown people you're fucking over in your backyard, and you're just saying, oh, they're white, so it's cool.
Interesting.
Which is also a weird thing.
Well, and that's just another demographic, just like every other demographic that has that group of people that don't fucking read, that don't research shit, that don't know shit about what they're talking about. Maybe they're talking about up north because there's some fucking crazy shit up in Redding and
it gets red up there.
Yeah, it gets pretty fucking interesting up there. But I mean, It's an interesting argument, breaking up California.
It showed me that they had no idea what they were talking about.
Oh, exactly.
I'm from there, and they didn't know I was from there. You know, I kept that shit under wraps. Not kidding. I have a lot of Central Valley pride. I let everyone know I go to strip clubs with dirt floors, but and taco trucks. But like, to hear this stuff, like you could just say that. Right. Yeah, every time I say something, it's like, shut the fuck up, you're wrong. It's like, whoa, there is a huge disconnect.
Well, and that is why that side has an argument, right? They have something to counter, right? And then that's why that side has an argument for them because they can't see each other, right? They just rather spew some bullshit that they don't even know or bother to look into. And so it creates this cross argument that, in my opinion, will never be settled, right? You're always going to have these fuckers who spew shit that they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, I kind of thought about this. I was like, how do you divide the country? Like, obviously, there's right and left, which obviously doesn't make any sense. But everyone wants to play that game, so let's do it. But, like, how do you make communities successful? And I was like, we need to come up with a number. Because it's like, what, like communism works up until about 50 people. I think once you get beyond that, communism kind of fails in studies. But
interesting.
How do we get that to where if you're from the Central Valley and you're conservative, that your needs are being met, whether it's watering your crops or whatever, protecting your Christianity, religion, whatever you want. I don't know. Right topics. And if you're in fucking, Austin, Texas, your left rights will be kept. Freedom to smoke weed, whatever. Gay marriages, but they're surrounded by a right state. So how do we keep these people able to do that? So I think we need to come up with a magic number. I don't know, 1,000, 10,000, 100 people. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but like that, if this community is particularly conservative or liberal, they could somehow be able to have a more one-on-one vote for the presidency. So at the end of the day, let's just make it where everyone has 1-to-1.
Well, right, exactly. Let's just go back to the way it's supposed to be. And I think, that makes me think about, the documents our founding fathers put together. I think they were, for the most part, a great idea. It's just the way they're implemented and slave ownership and the fact that, slaves were not even considered a real human, 1/3 of a person and this kind of jargon. So if we go back to that, we create a system that's exactly that. We take the Constitution, but eliminate the fucking systematic biases, man, and do what we can to create, what's the word is the perfect society, but
no such thing.
No, there's no such thing, and it's not like that's what we want, but I think if you eliminate systematic biases and injustice and racism and equity for all in a true sense, we can have as close to what we can think of in this country as, what's that word I'm looking for, Jay? Like a perfect society.
Utopia.
Utopian society.
Gotcha, bro.
Right. Thanks, Jay. So, and it sounds all fucking, kind of romanticized, but I don't know. Can it be done, Jay? Because you see, this is the scary part of what I've been seeing, Jay. And this is like rallies, protests that are scheduled to protest. There's permits, there's all this stuff, right? So in these communities, I don't know if you've seen these videos, but the protesters are walking through these communities and there's people in their driveways with the Confederate flag and they're kneeling on some dude's neck, and like laughing at the protesters. Yeah. Like, that's fucking gruesome, man. To see something like that,
Did you watch that on the internet?
I did.
Well, welcome to the internet.
Welcome to the
Some
internet.
of the most gruesome shit you'll see on the internet.
It is, man. But I
was watching this black guy on TikTok. He puts a little boy, like a 5-year-old little white boy, as his profile picture, and he goes and puts racist shit on everything. And he just talks about it's the best thing ever.
That's awesome.
You got to kind of respect the humor, but at the same time, it causes a lot of angry people.
Fuck yeah, I bet.
But it's I don't know, man. I don't know. You can't wrangle the internet, and I don't think it should be wrangled, but it does seem to be pretty fucking awful. But you don't read comments.
And that's not internet. Internet is just exposing what's out there.
Internet's going to extreme for a laugh, I think, or a troll.
Well, right, but it's not that's fake. That's not fake. That's actually happening. So that's just some sick fuckers who can't understand that there is really injustices. There's people out there that think that everybody has an equal platform.
Yeah, but I think a lot of them don't realize it. There might be 12 or 15 or 45, but they're sitting in their fucking basement playing video games all day and just saying whatever the fuck they want, because I don't think they go out and like kill George Floyd like the police officer did, but they just say like both sides. You just look at a Roll Star Hip Hop video comments or any like Joe Rogan. I don't know. I haven't looked at Joe Rogan comments, but I'm sure they're negative. It's just like the worst shit that you could ever hear in your life.
Oh, fuck yeah, there is.
It's insane.
It's insane. There's some fucking nasty people out there. And that's kind of the point I was getting at was, are we ever going to fix this? No, I don't think so.
If everyone does psychedelics, we can fix this. Donald Trump. Dude, if you got Donald Trump on some fucking DMT, the toad, whatever, you got him on some shrooms.
What would happen, I wonder? Dude, that would be
He would
awesome
quit.
experiment.
First of all, he would quit. He'd be like, it's absurd that I'm controlling Nick and Jay in Sacramento, yet Tijuana is closer to them. Vancouver, Canada is closer. Why the fuck is a guy from DC telling us what the fuck to do? It's absurd. It makes no sense. Drugs. But guess what? The people in power don't want us to take that shit. That's why they just say no, Reagan and Reagan's wife, Nixon. Fuck y'all.
But what if they did? What if they took
Have you ever done
themselves?
psychedelics?
Fuck no, I took salvia once. That was a trip.
That's not a real psychedelic. You need some shrooms or some DMT. I'm just new to the game. I'm ready to increase my levels. If you hear me, shout out. But yeah, like, oh, I get it.
What do you think would happen if Trump did DMT? You think he would snap
I think
out
he would
of
quit.
all this crazy shit?
He would quit. He'd be a completely different person.
But what if he came back and like created real systematic change and was like, oh fuck,
He might.
I woke up and we need to do
He
this.
might. The thing about DMT for me, I only did it once. So I'm not an expert on it. I'm going to do it many more times. But like, it's just like when we went to the Black Lives Matter movement, it's like, I'll be honest, I was down there and I was like, yeah, I was 50% into it. One, a guy got me off the wrong foot. Fucking raise your fist, motherfucker. And he was telling everybody that. And I was like, with the rest of the nervous white people. But it was like, what the fuck? But it was like, and some of the signs, 50% of the signs I didn't agree with, all cops are pigs, all cops should die.
Right.
You know, I was just like, what the fuck? But it was, but also I felt proud to yell George Floyd's name, because I saw the fucking video. We don't know what happened, but like, and to support the cause, because black people definitely like. If you don't think they get a fair shake in the country, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
Like it's obvious, and Dave Chappelle talked about that. But when I did DMT, everything's connected. You are me, Nick. If I treat you bad, I treat myself bad. It's very Buddhist, and I saw a lot of Buddhist type environments in my trip. And the things you see now, I don't know what it is, but it's a natural chemical that produces in your brain that nature produces, and that every world religion has had some type of psychedelic that's been grown in that area. What is the burning bush? Come on, motherfucking acacia tree. But anyways. But when you do a psychedelic, this wall, everything is alive and connected. It goes down to the microbiology, and we are all connected. And my emotion could affect this room just like your emotion could affect this room. And it really makes you feel that you are connected to everything, not just your brother, or your sister, but everything, nature, birds, bugs, whatever.
How much of that, and I don't know how much research you've done on this, but how much of that is you and what you believe and your biases? And so it brings me to The Mask. Remember the movie The Mask?
Yeah, with Jim Carrey.
With Jim Carrey, right. So he puts on the mask and he's like this romantic, real
Who's the girl in it?
Cameron Diaz.
Damn, shout out to Cameron Diaz. Where'd she go?
Cameron Diaz, Charlie's Angels, bro. So he puts on the mask. He's a romantic guy, right? But then the bad guy puts on the mask, and it just makes him this super powerful bad guy, right? So what if DMT to Donald Trump was like, fucking just created this huge dictator?
I will bet my life on it right now that doesn't happen.
Experiment? Documentary?
Sure. I'll bet my life that anyone that does DMT... Now, I sound like a crazy hippie, but you're in a room full of DMT people, which I've been in. They're like, yeah, for sure, 100%. These people are fools. And like, yeah, we're all connected. We should treat each other with love and kindness and respect.
No, so what I'm saying is we need to...
Donald Trump would not become more evil because he did DMT.
Well, we got to try it. We got to...
He'd become more evil if he drank Mickey's and whiskey and smoked Black & Milds, but he would not become more evil to DMT.
As far as DMT and stuff like that, I mean, I've heard so many good things about research and these type of things. So, hey, fuck, man, if it works for you and it can put people on another level, that maybe that's what we fucking need as a society. Who knows?
Yeah, I
Give
mean,
everybody some fucking DMT.
Donald Trump, if you're listening, which you're not, but just
You never know.
he's watching the Trump podcast right now. But like with his sons. But you fucking, wouldn't you want to try it? You're fucking the leader of the fucking country. Has any president ever done psychedelics?
Dude, that would probably top every fucking chart on YouTube, Spotify, every fucking platform ever. Watch you live stream Donald Trump doing DMT.
No, you don't want live stream. That's too much stress. You're going to create stress in your brain. You don't want that, bro. You want to go but no one even needs to know about it. Just go out to a waterfall somewhere. Donald Trump, you know the right. You probably own a couple. Just go out to that waterfall with a shaman. You probably own a couple shamans. And just, trip out and then really reflect on what's good for everybody. What's good for me. I am everybody. Everybody is me. So everything good for everybody is good for me.
Yes. Dude, imagine one day we have like a Kim Jong-un moment where it's like, oh, where the fuck is Trump? Is he in the hospital? Is he dying? What the fuck happened? And then he comes back, is like, I love everyone. Let's fucking build these bridges between communities.
And then he takes a shit in his hand and eats it. Like, fuck, he went crazy. But I think it'd be I think the world would be a lot different place. But the thing is, if everyone does psychedelics and that one asshole Putin doesn't, or someone, well, he'll be in charge. A lot of people are gonna just be like, I don't give a fuck. Like, do what you gotta do, bro. Mm-hmm. But I think it's Man, it would be how awesome would it be if tonight Donald Trump was like, well, due to American pressure, I'm going. That was like more Obama, but like, due to American pressure. That was like Hartman from. But anyways, what if he did that tonight and what if he did 6 months of shrooms? Ooh. Like every twice a week or whatever, and then
he'd get reelected, I bet.
Be by himself in his room, no one bothers him, gets all the food he fucking wants, no alcohol, but just let him go in there with some water and some coconut water and eat some healthy food, no bullshit, and then leave him alone. And then 6 months, let's check in, and I would shit my fucking pants if he was still the same way. I would be fucking shocked.
He would have some fucking hella willpower if he did, but I don't think he would be. That
a lot of hate.
That we should
petition, protest.
No, all we have to do is like tweet him and be like, "I bet you, Donald Trump, you won't do it." You
know what? Donald Trump won't do it.
Yeah,
he's a pussy. You won't do it, Donald Trump. You're a pussy.
I dare you.
Wink. Now we think with Donald Trump, we think that's going to make you do it, but no, I don't think he'll do it because I know this is probably false, but I heard he doesn't even drink or smoke.
He doesn't?
I heard he never did, and this was before he was president. I heard this, so I don't know. I've seen pictures of him at like dancing at clubs, and it seems he might have a drink in his hand, but it could be water. I don't know, soda water or something. But I heard this. I don't know if it's true. I doubt it. He's got to come on.
I don't know. You
don't think he drank once at all these parties?
He's not a healthy motherfucker, that's for sure.
He's definitely not healthy, but I heard that he felt like it would fuck up his mind with business or whatever.
I doubt it.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, I'm sure he had a few cocktails on Epstein's Island.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think psychedelics would help everybody, man. I'm not like you should do it, but...
Why not? Sell packets at the fucking corner store.
It's so crazy. Well, actually, we got a lot of Instagram followers. Shout out to our Instagram followers about psychedelics. Have you noticed that? Like all of a sudden,
I did notice that.
I think I might have liked one of their pictures, but damn, they're hardcore.
They came in quick.
We could get psychedelics next week, Nick, and try them.
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
Well, let's give a shout out. We're going to be in Visalia next week.
We are.
We're going to do some recordings. If you got an interesting fucking story, you want to be on the podcast. Now, we want some interesting shit. We want you to be an interesting motherfucker. And I'm sorry. I know we're not that interesting, but we are. But, we want some motherfuckers with stories. We don't want a typical story anyone could get. So if you know someone, don't be egotistical. Take psychedelics and put someone above yourself. But, let us know. We're going to be there June 20th around the area, Central Valley area. We won't tell you where, but reach out. Water Tower Podcast contact @gmail.com or hit us up on Instagram DMs.
That was Jay's email name.
It's a lot.
That's a lot to take in.
It should have been WTP contact.
But that is the email. So yes, definitely, we will be in the area, getting some good content and shooting some interviews. And who knows, maybe we'll hit town and fly the drone around and get some fucking footage.
We're getting some Mexican food. We're gonna definitely eat some tacos.
Gotta get some tacos.
But yeah, it'll be fun. Well, I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about? What do you got written down there? Nothing?
I'm all done with all the shit I had written
What's
down.
some positivity that's been in your life? It's been so negative out there, and we get it. And we know sometimes our podcast goes down a negative road, but we try every other week. We talk about serious subjects, but every other week we try to keep it light. So anything...
Well, you know what? I started following some positivity pages on Instagram. As cheesy as that sounds, Jay, it's pretty cool.
You're the whitest person I know.
Right? It's kind of uplifting. You know,
Yeah.
you hear good content and good stories, but
You need that.
I would say let's create good content. Let's create good material. I think here at WTP, that's what we need to do is create content that would encourage people to be good and be positive and see good in something.
Well, why don't we create a challenge? We do something, and then we shout that out to you guys, and you guys and gals, and you guys have to do it. You
I like
got what kind of challenge? I don't know. Do we
WTP challenge.
do WTP challenge?
I like it, Jay.
How hardcore are you? You a good person? You do psychedelic. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to do psychedelics. Maybe that's the challenge. Everyone does fucking psychedelics, and we're all mentally insane.
Go.
Yeah, but I don't know. What do you got? Anything in mind?
No, I don't. I did have a plan with my recyclables.
Okay, let's
Told
hear
you about that.
I feel a little weird about this. Let's be honest. Let's talk about this.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a plan. So this stems actually from I would give my recyclables to a guy that would come and pick them up every other week. Every time my recyclable trash can would go out, I would bring out my recyclables, which is cans, bottles, stuff like that. Give them to this guy who would collect recyclables. He would go up and down the streets collecting them. So I figured I'm gonna make what, $5-6 off of this shit. I'm gonna have to drive across town and waste gas and time and all this shit for $5. No, thank you. I'd rather help this guy out that's already doing it and hook him up, you know? So anyways, this relationship went on for about 2 years. And so I, was sending my recyclables and this and that. So anyway, so I moved into a new place. I don't even know where this guy's at anymore. And so I just still collect recyclables because I can't see myself throwing them in the recyclable trash can when somebody could benefit from them. But I just haven't found that person. And actually over the course of the last 3 years since I've been in my new place, my wife and my kids have taken them in several times. And then, maybe they get like $16, $17, something like that. So anyway, so right now we haven't gone in a long time. So there's a bunch of recyclables. So I've had this idea that we take these recyclables, we bag them up, we put them in my van, and we drive around town looking for people that are already doing this and say, hey man, could you use some extra recyclables? Yeah, hell yeah, I could. Well, here's a bag. Here, check it out. It's because I don't give people money. That's one thing that I don't do. When I see someone they're asking for money, I'm not going to give it to them. I just don't feel like I should be giving them money unless they're really earning it, But if you're giving them this, it's like, here, I'm helping you in your work endeavor to get this money. It's the same as my services, right? I go and detail someone's car, and it's like, well, because you're getting your detail service, you're helping me support my family, right? And so it's the same concept.
And possibly someone else's family.
Right, exactly. So... But I see, there's one thing to do that, and there's another thing to record it and put it out there for people to see. And I think that's where the controversy comes in.
Yeah, I feel, I expressed this to you earlier. I feel awkward doing something nice for people and recording it. It's kind of like episode number 6 of WTP, check it out. I believe we talked about white missionaries.
Right.
And I'm always very aware of doing something in the name of Jesus, read this Bible, we'll give you food, or, hey, give us views and we'll feed homeless people. And so if I feel weird about it, I'm down to do it. And maybe we do something like that behind the scenes and then we interview people. Maybe we do that. Like, hey, we're gonna do something nice for you. Will give us like a 10-minute interview if you're cool with it. And yeah, cool. Well, here's this pizza. Here's these cans. Like, and I think we do better than cans. Like, we got hook some motherfuckers, some soap and some razors.
Oh, for sure.
Some basic necessities. But I don't know, man. You see a lot of videos like that go viral.
Well, and I don't think it's a matter of viral or even content. It's really a matter of showing people that this is not difficult to do, right?
It does inspire.
It does inspire people to do it. And so it takes someone to produce this content to inspire. And I've gotten that before too. It's like, well, why are you gloating? Why are you so happy about doing this? And it brings me back to a movement. I think I mentioned this before. It's the Dignity Project, where this girl would go around and just have conversations with people, not bring them anything, just sit down, talk to them, get their story. And it created this project, and people were into it. And Brown Paper Bag Movement is another one. Just a lot of stuff like cool that. One. Yeah, right. So it's an interesting concept, but I get the argument.
Well, and I think it's easy. Oh man, it's easy to be like fuck homeless, and there's a lot of dirtbag homeless people out there that are organizations that just collect money and roll in fucking new cars and shit. But like, man, we've all, especially our Lindsay community, we've all been there. We've been on the street corner. Let's be honest. We've been broke and out of luck and like, fuck, what am I going to do tonight? Some point in your life, I guarantee 80% of the people from Lindsay that are listening right now have experienced that. Oh, I know you have. I know I have. Mm-hmm. Where you're like, hey, can I crash your place? Hey, and man, if you could, those experiences are there for a reason. So remember that. Now, I'm a strong believer you don't give money, apparently, to homeless people, but I look them in the eye, and I get a vibe. Now, that vibe's not 100%, obviously, but I get a vibe. And sometimes I'm like, hey, what do you need? I'll go buy you something that you need.
Right.
And sometimes I get a vibe like, here's a couple of bucks, But, like, use your sixth sense, use your gut, but at the same time, don't just X everybody out.
Yeah, I agree. And I do have a bias. If I see... And this is probably so bad to think, but I think about this all the time. Like, if I see a young guy on the corner panhandling, it's like, really, man?
Come on, motherfucker.
Yeah, come on, bro. Like,
get to work.
Get to work. Do something, man. You obviously can do it. Let's do it. Now, I don't see what's in here, so there could be stuff going on there.
True.
So that could be the situation, but I'm not. I just feel like if I see someone collecting cans, I would hook that person up. Here's $5. Here's something and they're not asking for it or anything. It's just like, I see you.
See the grind.
I can see the grind. I can see you working. I can see you want what you want. Let me help you out a little
bit. Now, 100% of our listeners have grinded.
Oh, fuck yeah.
No matter what job you've had, you've grinded. Mm-hmm. And so you can understand the grinding. There's a great blog from, I think I wrote, goddamn. Also, 2011, it was about seeing two different types of people in Visalia, California at the time I lived there. And I saw, it was, due to the '08 crash, but it was a lady selling necklaces and bracelets, an old Mexican lady, fucking old, carrying this big board with all her necklaces and bracelets, and then she wasn't making shit. And then there was this fucking white young dude, fucking meat on his bones, like fully capable of, he looked like he was eating good. And he was like, had a sign that was like, hit me with a quarter. Or what did it say? Like,
I bet you can't hit me with a quarter.
I bet you can't hit me with a quarter. And he was making bank.
Right.
Now, it's funny as fuck. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, oh, man, what a weird place we live in. What a weird place we live in.
Totally. And maybe this woman makes $5 and that makes her whole day, and this guy probably made like $50. Shit, that's all I got, Jay. Fuck, we've been at it for a long time.
Yeah, we've been a long time. Enough we intoxicated ourselves.
We did.
We smoked Black and Milds. We smoked a blunt. We drank Mickey's. I've drank whiskey as well.
You have quite a bit of it.
We did DMT on that little edit break you saw. We did DMT.
Yep, I took it well.
That would be a fun podcast. Would you guys like to see us on DMT? So I'm down.
Say no.
We'll take any drug, but as long as you guys supply it. But anyways, well, thank you for watching Water Tower Podcast. Next week we'll be in the Central Valley, so look out for that. And yeah, give us a shout out if you have anything interesting that you think we should cover in the Central Valley. But yeah, that's it for me. Check us out, Instagram, Water Tower Podcast, everything. So waterpodcast.com. Yeah, water tower underscore power.
This guy and his weird fucking.
Yeah, I can't say
names.
sentences.
You
forgot what you're gonna say right now.
Profile names.
My profile name?
So hard to get to, Jay.
Yeah, I always say WTF instead of WTP. You always get mad. I'm like, and Gina too. She's getting mad now too. I'm like, yeah, WTF. Like, it's just WTP.
Because you're so used to it.
Yeah. Anyways.
So thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Peace out, everyone.